Hey guys, it's Liz, and I am here to share with you my latest projects with you. This time I decided to create an altered canvas and a card, and these two projects are going to the wonderfully talented MsLiberty25, Miranda, here on YouTube. She just had a birthday a few days ago, and I decided to make her a little something to send her for her birthday. And this is what I came up with. And let's see, the inspiration for both of these projects obviously was Miranda, because we all know she is the queen of girly grunge here on YouTube, and so I definitely wanted to create something that was a little girly and a little grungy just for her. And also two wonderfully talented ladies here on YouTube. I was inspired by both their projects, and I'm going to put the links down below to both their videos that inspired me to create these, and they are the wonderful Leanne Bishop, also known as Lovely Scrapping, and Jules, who is Janavilis. Janavilis, I believe is the channel. Sorry about that. I didn't want to butcher the name here. But anyways, let me show you what I created. Let me start off with the card. And like I said, I wanted to go for a very girly grunge look. And this is the card that I created. I love this card. I think it came out awesome. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oops, that's zooming in. That's as far as it goes. Okay. So anyway, guys, I started off with a just a regular cardstock, and this is in the craft color, and the size of the card is 4.5 wide by 6 inches. And what I did is I just cut out the card base, and I attached a piece of paper to it, and the paper collection is by Glitz. I believe it is, oh my gosh, I had the paper pad here. I'll have to put it down below, but it's like a French theme. But I really love the paper because it had like a burlap look. I don't know if you could tell from the camera, but it looks like burlap. And they had some like stamped edges and a couple of little images in the background. So I really like that. And I distressed it. As you can see, I used my fingers. I just wet it and scrunched it up in some parts and distressed it quite a bit to give it that grungy look. And here in the corner, I used the Harlequin mask, and I used some modeling paste. I really like working with the mask. I think it's a lot of fun. And I did that here in the corner and down here, but a lot of it got covered up with the cheesecloth and everything you see here. So there's some masking with the modeling paste. And let's see, I used just cheesecloth here that I spritzed a little bit with the Lindy'sstampgang, and I'll show you the colors in just a second, just for a little bit of pink. You guys can see it a little bit. And let's see, I know Miranda loves, grunge and gears and metal and things like that, so I definitely wanted to incorporate some gears and metal in here. And these are chipboard from the Tim Holtz die, and I painted them using some puffy paint. And I really love the way that came out because it really does look like metal. See? And obviously I was trying to match the little, Tim Holtz gears. And what I did is I just used my finger, and I used the puffy paint. I'll show you. It's this one here, puffy paint, and I believe this color is golden brown. I don't know if it's focusing. There it is. And I just used my finger, and I rubbed it all over the chipboard gear. And then once it dried, I went over it again with my finger with some black gesso, and just to give it that grungy look. I really like that. And there's a little bit of gesso on there as well to just grunge it up some more. I really love the way it came out because it really does look like metal. And there's one piece here and then another piece back here. Okay, and then let's see, this here is a chipboard piece from Michael's, from their little dollar bin, the little chipboard pieces that they have. And all I did to it, I painted it vintage white. I sanded all the edges down a little bit, and then also the edges here, the parts that are embossed or raised, I sanded that a little, and then I used my vintage photo all over the edges and a little bit on the raised parts just to make them stand out a little bit more. Very nice. And I love this image, this beautiful vintage lady with the gears in her hair. I think that is so cool. And I believe that's a Graphic 45 stamp that I used in the Steampunk collection. And I just stamped her onto the chipboard using archival ink. And I used all the little Tim Holtz mini gears and her hair. I think they're so cute. And on the little gears, I did dab that puffy paint on them with my finger and the black gesso. I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but it's just, I really love the way they came out because they really look grungy. I love that. Okay, and let's see, for my flower cluster, I used a combination of I Am Rose's flowers. This big one is an I Am Rose's flower. And these beautiful pink ones, I love the look of them. These were given to me by Sabrina, CraftyChica87 here on YouTube. Thank you so much, Sabrina. These were perfect. And the color was perfect. I left them the same color. All I did is added gesso to the tips of them just a little bit. Okay, and there's another one right there. And those little brown ones, these were white, and those are also I Am Rose's flowers. And I used the Lindy'sstampgang in what was it called? Chocolate truffle, I think. Let me see. Dark chocolate truffle. I used that to color the little flowers, made them all brown. There's 3 of them. And then again, I used gesso on the top, just to grunge them up some more. So I really love the way those came out. And what I did here is I used a die. It's just a Sizzix die. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like these flourishes. And I just used chipboard, cut it out, and then I used a technique that Jana showed us and on her, and like I said, I'll put the link down below to her video. And what she did is she took music paper and adhered it on here with multimedium and then rubbed it off. So basically she did like a transfer of the music sheet onto the chipboard, and I really like that. So I did that. What I did first, I did paint it vintage white, and then I transferred the image on there, and then I used crackle accents on it. And once it dried, then I went over it with my vintage photo ink. So there's another one here, and I just cut it apart, just like 3 little pieces, and I just added that to the flower cluster, and I really like the way that came out. It's very nice. Very pretty. And down here, this is just a beautiful piece of trim that I picked up at Joann's, and this was white, and I used a combination of different colors to get this beautiful dusty pink color, and it's so pretty. And the reason I went with a pink and brown color theme is because, you know, like I said, Miranda loves, you know, the grunge, and I think she's, you know, a little girly grunge. And what is more girly than pink, and what is grungier than brown? So that's why I went with those 2 colors. And I really hope she likes it. But what I did here, like I said, this trim was white, and I used a combination of different colors, and I'll show you. And these are basically the main Lindy'sstampgang colors that I work with. I worked with the Cotton Candy Pink. Okay, I used that. And I used the dark chocolate truffle. I also used the South Shore Sand. And I also used Pink Ladies Pink. So it's a combination of a bunch of different colors, just a little bit of spritzes to get that beautiful color. I really, really like it. So that's my card. That's the front of it. And the inside is pretty simple. All I did is adhered another piece of the pattern paper. I crinkled up all the edges, or, you know, distressed them, I should say. Used a bunch of gesso in the corners, and I'm going to write my message to Miranda right on here. So I love the way this card came out, and I really, really hope Miranda likes it as well. I know she's not really like that much into pink, but I know recently she started, you know, liking it more, and so I really hope she likes this. So that's my card. And then I made her a canvas. I really like the altered canvases. I think they're gorgeous. And I've only made a couple. I think I made one, a little mini one, and then I made one for Leonie for her birthday. So this is my bigger one. So it's like, as you can see, I'm getting bigger and bigger as I feel more confident working with the canvases. So I'm really, really loving this one. And this one's going to be a little bit hard to show. Let me see how I can do this. Okay. Guys, like I said, the inspiration for this beautiful canvas came from Lovely Scrapping. She had an amazing tutorial on how she created this gorgeous mixed media tag. And I will put the link down below so you guys can take a look at it. But it's just, I loved it. I mean, I'm really loving the mixed media thing. And I haven't been working with it too much, but I mean, it's something definitely I really, really like. And she really inspired me to create this. So I think it's gorgeous. And it's right up there, you know, with Miranda's beautiful mixed media, you know, techniques that she uses as well. So I really hope she likes this one. But what I did with this is just a regular canvas. This is, excuse me guys, let me see. Let me zoom out. Actually, let me move the camera back. Sorry if I make you guys dizzy. Let me just move it back just a little bit because it's kind of big. Alright, let me see if that works. Is it a little bit better? Okay. What I did with this is just a regular canvas. It is 8 by 10. And I did, oh my gosh, I just followed Leanne's tutorial, the way she showed us how she made her tag. And all I did is I did prep the canvas first with a light coat of gesso. Then I took, tissue, just regular tissue paper, and I used a ton of stamps all over the tissue paper. And, a lot of it is covered up, but you still can see some of the stamping that I did. Okay. And I just, stamped it all over, used Mod Podge, and adhered the tissue onto the canvas. And I just kind of played with it a little bit. In some areas I scrunched it up more than others, and other areas, as you can see the texture here, other areas I kind of just left it alone. And I really love the effect because it creates such an amazing texture. You guys can see that. It's gorgeous. I love it. And the sides especially, I mean, like, look at that. It's really cool. But I added a bunch of other stuff as well. And it's beautiful. Let me just kind of show you an overview of the entire canvas so you guys could see some of this really cool texture. And, obviously I added a bunch of things to the top, but I'll show you in just a second. And this is so big. It's so hard to show it all on camera. You guys can really see it. But anyway, so after I adhered all the tissue on there, and some places it did rip a little bit, but I was able to cover it up and save it. So, okay, so after that, I adhered the tissue, and I spritzed, no, actually I masked. I first used the Harlequin mask again by Crafter's Workshop, and I used the modeling paste. I did some masking here, some here, and some down here. And again, some of it got covered up. And I just kind of threw it on there, kind of thick, kind of thin in some parts, because I really like the texture. I mean, it's just awesome the way it feels. So, just randomly, And then I went ahead and spritzed the canvas, again using the colors that I showed you, the Lindy'sstampgang colors, just all over. Mostly, pinks and browns. That was the color scheme I was going for. And let's see, once that dried, in Leanne's video, she used the mica, the magical micas, I believe that's what they're called. I had to improvise because I don't have any of those. So I thought, what would be shimmery and what would provide this awesome texture that you see here? See the bubbling effect? Very, very cool. So what I did is I used puffy paint. And the two colors that I used were the ones that, the brown that I showed you, the golden brown, and this gorgeous pink called watermelon. So I just used puffy paint, guys, and I just used puffy paint with my palette knife, and I just spread it on there. And I really, really like it. There's a lot here, there's like a big glob, and then there was a lot down here, excuse me, there's a lot there, and then just in random areas all throughout. I also did a little bit over, some of the modeling paste, just to pick up, give it some color. So if you could see the pink and then the brown, and there's some more right here, and I did a lot on the edges. And I really like the texture that it gives, because when you use your heat tool on it, it just bubbles up. And just leave it alone. It'll dry that way. It'll stay hard and just bubble up. It's just awesome. Love it. So the puffy paint worked for me. I improvised. I just, I followed the tutorial, but I did improvise because I didn't have a lot of the supplies. But it worked, and I really love the way it came out. It's awesome. So I used the puffy paint in random places, as you can see. And it's kind of funny because the quote that I picked, it's right on here. It says, "Life is a great big canvas, and you should throw all the paint you can on it." And I feel like that's exactly what I did. I just threw a bunch of stuff onto this canvas. And also in Leanne's video, she had lightened it up. She lightened up her tag a little bit because I think it was too dark. And I felt mine was a little too dark as well because, there was a lot of brown in it. And again, I didn't have the product that she used, so I improvised again. And all I did is I used vintage white acrylic paint. I added a few drops onto my mini mister along with some water. I just shook it up real good until it was nice and liquidy, and I sprayed that all over the canvas. So in some areas you can see a lot of white where it's lighter, and then in other areas it's darker. So just sprayed it all over the canvas. And I also used, some brown acrylic paint in the espresso color. And I mostly used that in the areas where I embellished quite a bit, like here behind the dress form. I did that to create sort of a shadow effect. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lot of brown. See? I just wanted to create like a shadow effect behind the dress form. So I used a lot of the brown acrylic paint there, and I also used a lot of brown acrylic paint in this corner with the flower cluster. But like I said, a lot of it gets covered up with all the embellishments that I used. So, but I just love it. I absolutely love the way this canvas came out. And again, guys, I was going for girly grunge, so I definitely have to use a lot of gears. I love the metal look of them. These are the same type of gears that I used for the card. They're chipboard, painted with the puffy paint. And then I went over them with the black gesso and then a little bit of the white gesso to really just grunge them up. And then all the metal ones, the smaller ones, are all the Tim Holtz gears. There's some all over the place. Just wanted to surround the dress form with a bunch of gears. There you go. And let's see, now moving on to the beautiful dress form, I think my favorite part. And this is where I was inspired by Jules. And she created this gorgeous dress form for, I believe it's like a little mini Christmas, gosh, I can't remember if it was an ornament or a canvas or something that she created, but it was beautiful. And I will put the links below so you guys can take a look. But I just loved it. And this is the Tim Holtz dress form. I cut it out of chipboard, painted it vintage white. I sanded all the edges down to create, more weathered look. And I inked all the edges with vintage photo. And then these beautiful wings are also from the Tim Holtz. I think this is from the heart and the wings. And so I cut that out and I used that technique that Jules showed us, where I painted it white first. I used the multi-medium and then some music sheet paper and to transfer the image over onto the wings, and they're just beautiful. And I did use crackle accents on that. I sanded all the little edges of the wings, added some vintage photo. They just came out so beautiful. And I did 2 layers just like Jules did. I think that just looks gorgeous. For her dress, I did change that up a little bit. Jules used a bunch of laces and trims and things like that. I really like working with cheesecloth, and I just think it gave it like a really tattered look. I'm gonna go on my knees. My back is hurting. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. So for the dress form, like I said, I really wanted a tattered look. And I just took cheesecloth, strips of it. I, used the Lindy'sstampgang, the pink, lady pink, and the cotton candy pink. Just in areas I did want some of the white to show. And I made a pretty little dress. So I gave her like a little wrap dress sort of thing. And then the strips just kind of hang here. See? You guys can see that. Really like it. It's like a little tattered gown. Very pretty. I did give her a little pearl necklace here. And then what I did, I just used some thin organza ribbon, tied a bow, added a few flowers. There's a pink one that I stained, well, I spritzed with the Lindy'sstampgang. This is the cotton candy pink, because this used to be white. And these 2 little brown flowers were actually mint green before. They're very tiny. And I did take 1 layer off so they could fit better. And I colored those with the dark chocolate truffle. Really pretty. And then I added some pearl string here. Very nice. And it just hangs down here. I really love this dress form thing. It came out so pretty. And for the base, I did use the music paper as well. The same technique for the wings. So, just love it. Here's some of that gorgeous trim again. And this was all sprayed with, the 3 or 4 different colors that I used to get this beautiful dusty pink. And there's parts that are brown. Very nice and grungy. And for my title, it's just a combination of spare part letters, these black letters, and also Tim Holtz alpha parts. I just took them apart and created my title. So life, canvas, and paint were adhered using those letters, and then everything else I printed it on my computer, cut it up into little pieces, attached it to some cardstock, went over it with Mod Podge front and back to seal it, and then I inked all the edges with the vintage brown. The vintage photo. So that's my title. Life is a great big canvas, and you should throw all the paint you can on it. And I really believe that. I think that's how it should be, right? You should just throw everything on it. So there you go. And this beautiful cluster up here is basically a bunch of cheesecloth that I did the same thing, sprayed it with pink. I used these beautiful parts of the flourish here. Actually, this was the entire piece, but most of it got covered up. Just the little edges are poking through. Again, that's a beautiful Iron Roses flower. Gorgeous flowers that Sabrina gave me. I added these. These are also from my stash. These were white, and I painted them cotton candy pink. Went over all the flower petals with some gesso. And then there's a little brown flower here. Again, that used to be mint green. I painted it dark chocolate truffle. There is another flower down there next to that gear. That's another Tim Holtz gear. And up here, oops, let me see, lower it, there we go. Here we have a little Prima light bulb, and it says love, and there's some gesso and a little bit of snow text on it for texture. And over here is a little metal screw. This was from, oh gosh, I can't remember the brand, but it's from, just picked it up at Michael's, like in the jewelry section. And it was gold. I used the puffy paint to color it this beautiful bronze. And then I went over it with the black gesso and a little bit of the white gesso and some snow text. Really, really like it. And I left some of the cheesecloth kind of hanging here, and it's really nice. I really, really, really like this canvas, and I'm so proud of it. And again, thank you so much, Leanne and Jules, for your inspiration to create this amazing thing. And I really, really hope Miranda likes it. Oh, and then this is going to be a hanging canvas, so I attached this beautiful chain to it. And don't you just think this chain is awesome? Look at it. It's bronze, but it's got little gears on it. Look at that. I thought it was perfect, right? It went really, really well with you know what I did here. So, oh my gosh, so much, guys. I know it's a long video, but there was so much to cover. But you guys, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of this. I really, really love it, and most importantly, I really hope Miranda loves it, and my little card as well. So, you guys, I know I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate all your comments and all the support that you show me, and I'd really like to hear what you guys think about my canvas. So, thank you so much for watching, guys, and let me just show you my card real quick again. And thank you so much again, Leanne and Jules. You guys are so inspiring. I love your work, and I think I created something pretty good thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for the inspiration. And again, guys, thank you so much. Hope you guys like my video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.